watching. It is Sunday and we are live here at CLCI. We are with a level 2 class, which is kind of awesome and amazing. They are finishing up day 3 and will be graduating Master Certified Life Coaches. And we are going to do a lunch and learn. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody out there. Happy V-Day. And I'm going to turn it over to Jerome, but before I do, I want to remind you to like, share, comment, please comment. We are monitoring and all of that good stuff. And we'd love to hear from you. Jerome, it's your turn.
Hello, everybody. And as Brooke mentioned, welcome to another Lunch and Learn. Also, happy Valentine's Day. We get to hang out with some lovely students of ours. We've been having a ton of fun in class, and now we get to kind of spill that over into the Facebook land, YouTube land, on our website as well. Excited to have you guys join us. And we will go ahead and start off with introductions. We're gonna go, I'll try and take it from the top. So we'll go with Bianca, if you're ready to go. Okay, Bianca.
What do you want us to include in our introduction? Just who we are?
Just a little bit of who you are and why you're taking the class.
Hi, my name is Bianca, and I'm taking the class because I own a mental health business, and I really wanted to do a half of the business for myself. And so I added life coaching so I can make a difference.
Thank you, Bianca. And then next up we have Nicole.
Hello, I'm Nicole. This is, let's see, becoming a life coach is an extension of who I am as an individual. I'm all about anarchy because anarchy is the absence of a master. And if everybody would just master themselves, which we can do through life coaching, we wouldn't need to have all the, the disarray that we have in the world. So for me, this is just another avenue of self-expression and encouraging the people around me to self-mastery. So, yeah.
I absolutely love that. And we have someone from CLCI with us today who you guys may have not seen before. Anthony, next.
Hi guys, my name's Anthony. I've been with CLCI for a few months now, but I've been in the back end, sort of either writing the blog articles or copy editing or doing some of the back end work. But I'm watching the class with everyone else. I won't be opening my own life coaching practice, but this is to help me understand how the written material gets translated to in class and how the teacher's experience sort of comes through in their teaching. So hopefully this will improve my writing so that you guys all have better blogs to read.
Super glad to have Anthony with us today. And then we have Gail up next.
Hi, I'm Gail Richardson. I'm from New Jersey, and I am well-versed and diversified all over the place, but my main focus is I'm in ministry, and I work in a lot of areas. I'm also in education. So I enjoy this certified life coaching class. Level 2 has really helped me in a lot of areas. And I really hope to open up my own business and carry out life coaching and all that I endeavor. And I really like to use it in workshops. I really love that. So that's why I'm here. Thank you. Looking forward to graduation.
If I'm not mistaken, we had you for a lunch and learn previously, right, Gail?
No, this is my first lunch and learn.
Okay, well, we're happy to have you here for your first.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then next up, we have Melissa. Muted.
Got to get used to the Zoom stuff. I should be by now. Hi, I'm Melissa, and I'm from Southern California, but I live in Texas, and I love living in Texas. I took the level 1 in 2016 and coached for about 5.5 years and took a break, and now I'm doing level 2, and it's been incredible. The knowledge that I'm learning from Daniel, but also the other participants is just incredible. I want to take it again because I think you just can't get it all in this period of time, but I've gotten so many tools that I can use immediately. But so it's been a blessing to me. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. And as a fellow Southern California native, and I think Anthony and Brooke, I think would agree, we're happy to have you.
Absolutely.
We'll go ahead and pass it over to Brooke so we can get started.
So we got everybody introduced.
Everybody's introduced, and everyone else don't hesitate.
My cat is
Who else is
pulling
in
me.
class? Don't hesitate to hop in if you guys would like. Hey, Nick.
My cat just attacked me. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, he's sweet, but he's evil. Well, it's up to you guys. So what do you guys want to discuss today? I am the Chief Marketing and Operating Officer here, and Jerome is a Marketing and Social Master. We have Anthony here as well, who's our amazing copywriter. Do you guys, what questions do you have for us?
How to get out there and promote yourself?
How?
Yeah, how do we get out there and promote ourselves?
You just
Other
do.
than Facebook, really.
So how do you promote you? Well, my first question would be to you is, where is your client?
I'm in New Jersey.
So you're gonna, are you planning on doing in person or online?
I would like to do both,
Like,
because I don't want to I don't want to limit myself to just being in New Jersey. I want to, see myself all over.
So who is your client?
I have people that just need life coaching assistance, period. There's no age limit. There's no demographic. It's
You're
just
doing
people
the broad spectrum. Okay. So
Yes.
if we do this visualization in level 1, I'm going to take you through it really quick. Take a moment, imagine yourself in your space where you are life coaching, and imagine your ideal client, that client, and this can be somebody you've worked with or somebody you intend to work with, walking through the door. And this is one person. This is a single human being. Unless you're a couples coach, in which case, but who is that client? What is their name? What are they wearing? Where do they shop? What do they eat? They are a person, right? They are a living, eating, breathing human being. So who is that client?
Wow. So I need to visualize somebody, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I visualized a woman.
Mhm.
I have no preference because I work with men and women. You were trying to make me narrow this down. I'll say young people who are looking for direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old is young?
50. No, I'm only kidding.
I love it. Amen.
I'll say about 30.
Okay, so women in their 30s. Now,
Yes.
I don't want you to, every life coach is afraid of niching, of narrowing, of that, of because you guys want everybody, right? You want, now, a perfect world, it's everybody, but you're only one person, and you can only extend so far, and your time is only so long. And so what that focus does is it allows you to be a big fish in a small pond.
Okay.
And so that's why we're doing that. That's not to say you're going to turn people away if they come knocking on your door and they want your life coaching. And it's not to say that a lot of times coaches go out there and they think they're marketing to one group of people, and it turns out to be somebody completely different. And that's very common. So you'll start in one place. One of the things Dan says is you are dating this niche. You aren't married to it. You're dating. You guys are not in a long-term commitment together. You're just trying it on for size, seeing how it goes, and then if you need to, adjusting and moving. So that we have you do that because now when we know, where can you find a woman in her 30s that is going through a transition?
You will be on Facebook.
Okay. All right. Where can you find her out in the world? Where can you find her outside of Facebook?
Maybe going back to school or
Okay.
in a type of social events, places like that.
Okay. So what kind of social events?
Trying to see, because I don't go everywhere either. So it would be hard for me.
So you got to do some research.
Yes, I do.
So, but what that does, what we're doing, that's where you're going to be, because they're not going to come to you. You have to go to them. So,
okay.
Again, my 3 rules, my standard 3, rule number 1 is speak their language, and that is your client's language. Number 2 is make it about them. Everything, make it about them and not you. And number 3, go where they are.
Okay.
And notice it's entirely about them.
All right.
Everything that you're learning in this class with regard to setting aside the me, when that door shuts, you can apply all of that to how you market as well. You're making it about them. Mind you, in marketing, we do want you to push your experience. We want, because that is what will get people in the door a lot of times, and it creates trust, because it's entirely about trust marketing. But once that door shut, that goes away. But one of the great tools that you're learning is make it about them. So that's what you want to do. You want to talk in their language, and simply in their language as well, but go where they are. So when you ask me, where do we go? How do I promote myself after this? My question to you is, wherever your client is, that's where you go, and that's where you promote.
Is it okay to have more than one niche?
It is, absolutely. No, but again, here's the thing. So when I say marketing is about building trust, you're going to, we'll just take digitally, right? When I'm surfing the internet and I find an ad or I see a post and it is about a specific thing. So if it's about business coaching and I'm like, ooh, I'm going to click on that. What I want to see when I click on that link is everything should have to do with business coaching that whole way down, because that's what got me in there.
I got it.
If it adjusts and changes suddenly to something else, you've lost my trust.
Okay, I got it.
Does that make sense? So
Yes.
that's why you want to keep that path very clear, because you're building trust with people, and it's when people trust you that they will hand you their money, and not before that. So
Okay,
yeah.
got it. Thank you.
My pleasure. Up next, Bianca.
I actually wanted to say the demographic that she was talking about was me. I'm 30, I'm in transition, and like the one thing I realized as you were talking was I'm figuring out my specialty as well. I think it's going to be happiness, positive psychology, and ADHD. Is that like I need to ask those people where they're at, because that will help me narrow down where I want to advertise.
They have ADHD. We're everywhere.
Yeah. So it's how do I appeal to that in an authentic way? Because we want to sell ourselves.
Well, wait, somebody was saying something?
I was going to say, and Brooke, do you think it would be appropriate to like ask maybe either on the onboarding of a session or after a session, like, hey, like I'm trying to sort of expand sort of my client base. Where do you spend like a lot of your time on the internet, or where's the best way to reach out to people like you, or that sort of?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and there's a lot of, I was reading an article recently, and it was about Tony Robbins and his approach to marketing. And one of the first steps that he has going in is he has people fill out a sort of a quiz that fills out a life wheel. It's kind of like a life wheel based quiz. But in doing that, he's garnering a tremendous amount of information, right? He's finding out what their pain points are. He's finding out, and he can then take that together and put it all together. Okay, well, most of my clients right now are suffering from missing this. And then he knows how to guide his marketing. That is huge. Having a way to ask those questions and get that information can be highly beneficial. It's what we do. When you guys registered, what are the last two questions you answer on the registration form? Does anybody remember? It says, how did you find us? And it says, why did you choose us? And that is exactly there so that we can find out, okay, where are you guys at? Where is our marketing getting return on investment? And why are you choosing our school, so that we can then make sure we are, highlighting those things and also building up maybe the things that aren't being as well known. So this is a very important tool, and it's a great thing. And don't be ashamed to ask these two questions. They're quick questions that you can ask somebody and garner a tremendous amount of information from. Thank you for that, Anthony, by the way.
We didn't remember those two questions tells you they're not too probing, but they give you what you need.
Exactly. And you want to make it as simple as anything that you're doing, make it easy on you. Make it easy. There should be an easy button. Like, that's why we give you the options. They're already there. You don't have to think about it. You can just go click, 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 next. And you're not having to, if you make it too much work for them, they're going to tune out immediately. So
I have a question. Well, not a question, but one thing I was going to tell Gail is when you start and you work with your clients, word of mouth is the best advertising.
Mm-hmm.
So when you walk alongside of a client and they have breakthrough and they're moving forward in their life, they're going to tell it to the world.
Mhm.
And my first client that I had back in 2016, literally told everybody, she was my biggest billboard and still is to this day.
And that's referral. I mean, it's huge. Referral, it's huge, because that right now, if I trust, let's say, I trust Jerome, right? So if Jerome recommends something to me, I'm already going to trust it hand over fist above another person or any other recommendation or something I find on the internet. Well, I know Jerome, I trust Jerome's taste. So I'm gonna take Jerome's referral over anybody else's. And that again, it's all comes down to trust. It comes down to building establishing trust. And that's why referrals are amazing. And so don't discount that. You can also incentivize your referrals as well. So what was that, Anthony?
Oh, I was going to say for younger generation, like if your clientele is sort of the younger bent, my sort of age bracket, like younger millennials, we are very tech savvy. And I know a lot of people who I immediately have my ad block on. So I just filter all that stuff out. So a lot of the stuff where I get recommendations is from word of mouth. Advertisements don't really, sway me, even if it is something that I'm looking for, because I get sort of paranoid about my phone listening to me or something like that. But if it's someone who I know, who knows someone who has had a good service or something like that, then that would, pique my interest.
So when I'm curious, just to poll the audience here, you two, Jerome and Anthony, younger, when you guys scroll through Instagram, do you ever click on the buttons that say learn more and you get taken to, do you ever do that?
For the most part, the advertisements are kind of watered down because there are so many of them.
There are so many, it's ridiculous.
But as a fellow marketer, if I see something really good, I will click on it.
Absolutely.
Just to kind of explore and see exactly what they're doing. And if I actually enjoy whatever it is being advertised, I might even, adhere to it. And
we might be the wrong two people to ask that.
Probably so, yeah. But
there's
a lesson to be learned. There's a lesson to be learned there, though. When you guys pay attention to how other people are marketing, pay attention to what is working or what you think is working and what you think isn't, because that will help you make some really smart decisions. One of the things I entertain a lot of times, the coaches coach people that come through and try to get me, even though I'm not going to use their services, but I'll play along for a little bit. Why? Because I want to see what they're doing. I want to see how they're marketing. It might be, but you know what? If you're cold calling me, I'm going to play along for a minute. It's what you get. But you can learn a lot, though. And I like to check it out because I want to see, okay, well, maybe they're doing something I'm not aware of. And again, that's also one of the greatest searches you can do is find a huge coach like I did with Tony Robbins. And instead of just Googling him, Google about his marketing and see there, you can find people have studied how they do things and they've written it out so that you can learn from it and use that to your advantage.
Yeah, I'd like to point out it's not stealing, don't reinvent the wheel if it's not broken. Obviously, don't snatch it exactly from their exact, whatever their plan is. But you can remix it, make it your own. If it's working for them, it can work for you. Just throw in who you are as a person, and I think that'll really play to your benefit.
Well, and I would hope everybody would put their own thumbprint on it, because otherwise you'd just be selling the same human being or the same service. So, but that is it. Every story has been told. Everything has been done. Look at what works out there and make it your own, because your unique perspective is what makes it unique. And that's that unique selling point. What you bring to the table that makes you different is what will draw people to you. So a lot of times it's those things that we also are less than thrilled about, but because we're human, because we are vulnerable, that will generate trust as well with people. So being willing to show that is a big thing. Well, that's the emotional side, which our brain loves. So our reptilian brain is drawn to, as I would say. So who's more questions?
I've got a question. Kind of on this whole point. A lot of the marketing that I've come across has had the bio page for the coach. And it's been talked about that the things that we share on our bio page are going to be those points that create trust, create the connection between the potential client. But how do we go about knowing what is appropriate or not appropriate if our experiences have been so vast, which have actually gotten us here?
So
That's what I'm struggling with right now.
your bio page is not about you.
Okay.
It's about the client.
Okay.
So you are writing that for your client. Most coaches do not approach, most people, most businesses don't approach it that way, but your about me is about them. So you want to be writing it from the perspective of, okay, if this is my client, what aspects will most bring them to me? What will hook them in? So that's how you narrow that focus. Knowing who your client is and then writing the about me for them with the intention of sharing information about yourself so that they will trust you, so that they will get to know you better, so that they will believe you can give forth your services. It is about them. It's not about you at the end of the day. It is about you sharing your experience and your background and everything, but know very clearly what your intention is. And your intention is to get clients from this. And so write from that with that intention. Anthony, do you have any thoughts?
Audience is everything. So what may be appropriate for your if you're a coach who's working in business or for large corporations or wanting to market to like CEOs or people in businesses, maybe one style of language and talking about yourself might seem unprofessional and it might turn people off. But if it's to a younger sort of crowd, millennials, maybe being more authentic, injecting some, humor into it might be appropriate. So that's why we want people to find their niche audiences, because if it's too wide of an audience, then you get something that's a bit kind of lukewarm and doesn't really, it's, palatable to a lot of people, but it doesn't really turn anybody, on. They don't want to, learn more about you because it's a little bit kind of bland. You need a little bit of spice. But the
it's
right
like
kind
going
of
to a buffet. If you're at a buffet, everything's kind of like bland. It's all kind of, there's not a lot of flavor going on because it's got to be palatable to everybody. But if if you're going to a gourmet meal and you know what you're going to get, a very specific thing, a very specific cuisine, and that will be target. It's a very similar kind of thing. Sorry to interrupt, Anthony.
Oh yeah, that's a good metaphor. Like if I want really good Mexican food, I don't go to Hometown Buffet. I go to this really good Mexican restaurant that's been only serving Mexican food for years. I don't try to go to somewhere that appeals to everybody, because then you can't really get that audience you want.
Exactly. You're not, and the thing is, people, for the most part, they have very specific things going on in their world, and that is why they're seeking you out. And that's, again, very important when you are coaching. Be in that coaching moment, but take a moment after your session. Take a moment after you do a clarity call and write down what stood out to you. Write down why they called you. Write down what their pain points are. And the more people you talk to, the more you'll start to see links, okay, they all have this in common. They're all going through this. And that's taking that moment after your session to note, okay, I'm stepping out. And this is when I always say marketers can seem sociopathic at times, because we have to remove ourselves from the emotion, the empathy and everything, and just analyze and go, okay, why are they here? What brought them here? And then get that very analytical mind going so that then we can then know how to sell ourselves. So taking that break and writing those notes out, write your notes as being a coach, but then take a moment and write your notes as being a marketer as well. Because that'll help too. Even if you hire a marketer, having that kind of information available for them will help so much. So, yeah.
Especially when I'm writing for clients. If I'm writing for a client, I like to know that very specific information, because that lets me, the copywriter, know this is how I should write this. And I've got a very good sense of direction. And then I can provide a product that, a business owner would like to have, because otherwise then I'm sort of trying to do research and I'm a bit unsure about which direction I should take. Specific is good.
Specific is very good. And the more information you have, the better. And that's with my clients, I love to I just like having them involved as much as possible because it's your business at the end of the day. So you have to you're going to have the best pulse on your business over anybody else out there. We can guess, but you're the one that's in it. So you have the most information. Did we answer your question, Nicole?
Kind of, yeah.
Well, where else can we give you more clarity?
I think it's just the personal application of taking this information and going back through and really defining my goal, my target client, which I'm still having an issue with, because again, like Gail was saying, everybody needs holistic coaching, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so it's hard.
I mean, holistic, that's a whole person. We're all whole people. Exactly. So we all, you know, at the end of the day, if I go to you for business coaching, I mean, I will say it can be different when you get into executive, when you're really just dealing with business, but at some point you do have to deal with every facet of a human being. If somebody's coming to you because they're in transition, you're going to talk about all these other things because we are not one thing. We are a bunch of things all in one human being. And so when you say I'm niching, I don't want to do that, but you're niching, but you're only niching to get people in the door. You're going to work in all aspects once they're in the door with you. That you just are. That's just the nature of the beast. So don't be so. I mean, everybody needs holistic coaching, but everybody needs business coaching. Everybody needs every kind of coaching at the end of the day. But so what you want to do is really focus in on what is going to bring them in. What is the pain point? What is that? Are they suffering from in their life, or are they going through that causes them enough pain to feel like they need somebody else there? They need help. They need a sounding board. They need, recently I hired a coach. Why? Because I wanted to know that I'd have somebody I could just talk some stuff through with, and it's business related, but I just wanted to know it was there. And I had a space where I could just get it all out, wasn't going to offend anybody. And I could figure out because it felt murky, like, you know, and I wanted to have a clear path and a clear vision. And so pain points there. I need a space I can talk. I don't have that. I feel murky, I feel foggy, I'm not sure, I don't have clarity. So those are my pain points. So start to ask yourself that. What are the things that is going on that they need changed, or that is bothering them, or that is keep preventing them from moving forward or progressing, that will get them through your door? And that's where you're going to start. And then you're going to give the benefits from there. So
okay. Can I piggyback off of this?
Yeah.
Like you had said that if somebody is marketing for business coaching, you follow that link, and then there's other stuff in there that is not business coaching. That's kind of like what I'm doing right now, actually, mm-hmm. because I'm also a bodywork therapist and intuitive healer, and I help people transition from pain mode and protection mode into healing mode. Mm-hmm. And so they're going to see the other things that I do, because they also, you know.
So where are they coming? What is the first thing they're hiring you for, though? What is the first? Where do they start?
Where do they start?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, they start with knowing that there is an issue that needs to be resolved.
Okay, so that's where you start. Is you start from where those things can come, and you can have them. I would have them as separate pages on your homepage. You're going to focus on one thing, and you can then share those other things as you progress through the process. But initially they're going to come talk to you for one thing, and that whatever that is, that's what you want to highlight. Okay. If that's what's getting them in the door, right? You know, if I've had clients who were hairstylists, and they actually converted several of their clientele from being hairstylists to being clients that were coach clients, because that's something that happens when you're getting your hair done. And so, and it was a natural progression. So they had a different hook than you would have, right? They're hooking through hair, which sounds like that could be taken in the wrong context. Okay, that was terrible. All right. But what you're gonna do is start there, and then you can broaden, because you're gonna be building trust, right, at that point. But nobody trusts anybody on the internet. Nobody does. Everybody thinks it's a trick. So know that, and then do everything you can to build that trust as you go through. And here,
keep them separate.
I would have
Separate-
them be on a separate page in your site. Like you can put it on your site, but I would have your landing page, your home page, your main page be focused on one thing, on one service, on one.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
And what the things we've covered, a lot of the things we should do in social media. There's certain things I've noticed that I don't like, and sorry, one second. and figuring out what I don't like. I'll list 3 that I've seen that are really common, and I'm wondering if there are other areas like this that you shouldn't do. I
Yeah,
see
sure.
a lot of
Yeah.
charm pricing where like they reduce it by $3 so that the $300 package looks like $200, to the head. They do a lot of those countdowns where it's like, and I've noticed every single time I go to a site that has that, it feels really inauthentic. It feels like very salesy and false scarcity where like they're creating false sense that their schedule is full.
Yeah, that drives me crazy too. What they're using is neuromarketing tools. Those marketers have read or studied a thing or two about neuromarketing, and it's proven that we as human beings respond to countdowns, to scarcity, and to numbers that appear to be marked down. That is, it just is. There's you are smart enough to see and recognize that is happening, but vast majority of people don't have that knowledge, and so it is tremendously successful. I'll tell you, as a marketer, if I put a countdown on something, it's going to sell. If I put a sale up and I say the sale ends on the 31st, I will extend it an extra week just to because people they respond. They do. It's just that is the nature. We don't want to miss out, right? That is
But I've noticed in coaching it may also push people away without you intending to. And
that's true of anything though. Like that is true of anything. Is you if you pissed somebody off, you scared somebody away, good. I mean, that is what happened.
Yeah, they're just not your ideal client.
They're not your ideal. You're not meant to work together. You're not meant to be. So one person's going to be drawn to that. You're not. Okay. So you don't want to market that way. That doesn't mean it's wrong for somebody else though.
It just means it's just not my particular.
It's not yours. Exactly. So it's great that you're taking note of that though, because this is not what I want to do. And so you can be very clear with anybody you're marketing with, this is not my approach because it does not attract the client I want. It is not how I want to put my brand out there. And
I could say something to more so reassure Bianca about, false scarcity. As a business owner, your time is scarce.
It is.
Exactly.
Like just because you have open slots for potential clients, your time can be spent. It can be spent either working on your marketing, taking classes like this, doing research, reading books. Even though that's not build sort of time.
Yeah.
It's all the other things that you could be doing with your time to help your business.
That's a really good way of putting it though, because there's scarcity in it.
So your time is scarce, and there's nothing wrong with, putting that out there in such a way. I'm not too keen on the details of that. That's more of Brooke's specialty.
Yeah.
But that's not something that you should, be too worried about, because, there's a lot of other things you could be doing.
Your time is valuable. Every one of you guys, every minute you spend doing. So one of the things we talk with people, when you're pricing yourself, you can start, and everybody starts usually coming out of this kind of low, because you don't consider, if I spend 4 hours marketing and 4 hours of coaching, that's still an 8-hour day. So what do you need in your 8-hour day for you to be making enough money? Because that's what you should be charging for that full 8 hours, not that 4, just that 4. That's how you should approach your pricing. Like what do I need to make to live? And however you fill that day, you guys are entrepreneurs. It's up to you now. Like you have that freedom. You don't have anybody who's going to tell you got to be here, do that. It's up to you to fill your time as you wish, which is a tremendous amount of freedom. It can lead you down a tremendous amount of rabbit holes, but make sure you are valuing your time. It is the one asset that you cannot get back. It is the single. And we as human beings know that. We know that on a animalistic level. Again, it's another marketing tactic. If you see anybody mentioning time in their marketing, if I run something that says now is the time. It's going to sell far better than something that does not mention the word time. That is because we as human beings know innately that time is limited. So we value it above money, actually.
Awesome,
we-
thanks.
Anything else? Do you have any other questions? Are you good?
Well, the one thing I did notice that sites did right is like the ones who were really smart put like what they were marketing towards or like who they affected and like what they specialized. And then they even said like who wasn't their idea.
Yeah.
Are there other techniques like that that might be useful to help people know like, hey, this is particularly like where I shine?
Well, that's just you clarifying your message and your brand, right? That's just you saying, this is who I work with. I work best with these people. And honestly, we won't work together. That is also a bit of a sales tactic too. It is a two-sided coin there, because it is also them creating that feeling of exclusivity in a different way, right? I don't work with these people. So if you're not this person, you can't work with me. And that is immediately making me go, ooh, I want to be that person. I want to be the right person, right?
Yeah, or if you are that person, you're like, oh, that's.
I'm in the club, like, you know. So it is another way of creating that scarcity, and another. Once you start to learn what these things are and you see them, you'll recognize it everywhere, and okay. Our entire world is marketing. Everything out there, social media is marketing. The way we interact, at the end of the day, it is all marketing. It's one of my favorite documentaries in the world, The Century of the Self. I suggest watching it. It's crazy. But everything that you see on the internet, at the end of the day, it's marketing. Even TV, even films, they're all selling you something. They are.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about social media, and I think that's a huge platform to get our services out, in your opinion, and you may go either way or not have one, but I've seen a lot more videos being done.
Absolutely.
So is that is that becoming more effective? Oh,
it is more effective.
It's more effective. Okay. So when
I was about to say, we're doing that right now.
No, the conversion rates are hand over fist higher above any still image, any writing, any people. So, video it's there, it's moving, it catches my eye, I don't have to work to read it or do it. It's right in front of me, and so it's far more effective marketing.
Well, and Facebook pushes it to the top of the pile too.
What was that again?
Facebook puts it to the top of the pile.
Absolutely.
On your feed.
Mm-hmm. And there's 100 ways to do video now too, but yes, Melissa.
Just with that being said, is it better to do like smaller clips, like
Depends.
So that's where I'm wondering, like, is it better to do
Jerome, do you want to take this one?
Sure, I would say it depends on what platform you're actually presenting the video on. Like we're going over this earlier this week, speaking about our YouTube channel, how we do have these on the hour-long versions of them. And we definitely plan on moving in a direction where we do have 10-minute bite-sized versions, because I mean, an hour is a long time. That is a long commitment for someone to make. So
but on Facebook, the highest rated videos are between 2 and 3 hours long. And so it's on YouTube, the sweet spot's between 10 and 20 minutes. So, but it also it depends on what your content is too, because I could have a 10-minute video, and if it's not hitting home with anybody, it's not going to do any good. So what matters more than the length of time is the content within. So make sure that whatever you're making is enriching, it's adding value, it's entertaining, it's pissing people off. It's, it can be any number. If it's eliciting an emotion or hooking people and giving them a reason to watch it. And that can come in a ton of different forms. In level 1, there's a thing, it says enrich. And that's what your content should be, enrich. And it stands for a number of things, but it's basically you want to enrich people's lives with whatever you're putting out there. Make sure it's enriching content, and that can come in it can make people think, it can be giving them information, it can be showing them behind the scenes or something they would not otherwise get to see or experience. And that's why being real is so important on social, because it's that behind the scenes feeling. People like to feel like they're getting a look where they wouldn't otherwise get to look. I was talking to a gentleman on the phone, and it was funny. We doing Zooms now, we let people into our houses all the like we're getting to see into everybody's house right now. How, I mean, like, can you imagine peering through somebody's window? That's what you're doing. But think about, I mean, this isn't an intimacy that happens that you would not otherwise get without the presence of social media, or unless you have a green screen. We are, those that don't, you know, are willing, we are letting people into a window of our lives. And that is something that people want to see, because they would not otherwise get the opportunity to see that. If I could look through windows, I would, but that would just make me a creep. So
this way you don't get arrested.
Yeah,
You can- There's a benefit.
Listen, I would like to say, regardless of the length of video, what is really important, I think, is making sure that you have a captivating title to your video, and that first pop right in the beginning, as soon as it's early, to get that attention grabber, and you can captivate your audience and have them sit and stay for the duration.
I want to say hi to Sue Bowles too. Hi, Sue Bowles.
Yes, hello,
and also make sure thumbnail is huge, so crucial. And Jerome can talk all day about thumbnails. Anthony can talk about titles. Thumbnail and title. That's what people, because that's what, I mean, imagine if you sit back and you look at YouTube and like sit back, you see all these little squares. Which ones do you click on? Well, the one that looks the most interesting. What makes things interesting? Emotion, contrast is actually a big thing. And this is going back to neuromarketing. So like high contrast, so I could really see the fonts come forward. I could really see whatever title you've got. When you're doing a thumbnail, writing over your picture so that people know what it's about, but you want that writing to elicit an emotion.
I know that can sound scary, thumbnails, but it doesn't have
I know what you're talking about. I'm like, that's over my head.
Thumbnails would be the image you see prior to clicking play on the video. So they don't have to be really complicated either. They can be, you know, like Brooke mentioned, just a simple text above an image of you making a crazy face or something like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be overzealous or anything.
And the reason we say crazy face is because if I'm doing this, or if I'm doing this, I'm probably going to click on the one that's like the super happy, excited one. Or if I look like I'm crying, or if, you know, that's going to cause people to be more inclined to click, essentially.
Or the one that Jerome made of me after the last one, it looks like I'm Here's Johnny from The Shining.
Yeah. Now, I have a question. What do you guys use to design your, like, the thumbnails for YouTube's when you do it?
We use Adobe. But you could use something as simple as Canva, which is really user-friendly, and we actually have videos on that.
Yeah, Jerome started on Canva.
I saw that.
Canva, or you can also use Google Slides. Google Slides is a great tool to, you just get the ratio that the thumbnail is in, and every platform provides that ratio, and just make the size of the page that you're designing on the slide that, and you can put a picture on it, you can put text, it does almost the same as Adobe. I think we should put that thumbnails down as one of our how-to videos coming up on the 3rd. Yeah.
Yes.
Boom.
You guys have videos though that you can look at you just mentioned. So where do I find those?
They are on Facebook or on YouTube, and we're going to be starting a challenge on the 3rd of March, and we're going to be releasing how-tos throughout that we're going to do a how-to thumbnail, and all of our how-tos will be on free platforms so that you guys can do them without having to buy into any platform or buy into any website or anything. So we have some that exists already though, and they're on our Facebook Live and our YouTube. So, and also on our site under tools and support. Yeah. Hi, Dan, you're back.
I'm back. Get ready to roll here.
Yeah, we've got about 9 minutes ish, but that would be pushing it. So, any other questions before we sign off?
Yeah.
I'll throw a Wayback Machine in here. How long ago did we do that vision boarding one with Pixabay and Canva? Of how to use Canva.
Over a year ago. I think it was over a year. Yeah.
Wow, has it been that long?
Yeah, I think so.
I feel so old now.
You are.
Yeah, I am. That's true.
No, you're young. We just covered this. Gail set the 50 is young. So I love it.
Straight.
I'm basically 12 years old, guys.
I'm actually 55. I just keep really, good terrible.
After 21, it's just years of experience.
You're just
You
21
just
for
get
life.
really good at being 21.
I as an artist, I have always aimed to remain a child on the inside. Like I just want to always be a kid, because it keeps the imagination alive in my eyes. So, all right, well, we're going to wrap up. Thank you guys so much out there for watching. Thank you guys for sharing your questions with us. And to those, well, any final thoughts, Jerome, Anthony, Dan?
In dog years, I'm either 7.5 or close to 400, depending which way I apply it.
I would say know your audience and value your time.
Yes.
Join us on Tuesday because we will be going live again at 4. And we're excited to continue on our month-long theme of relationships.
Yes, fair fighting techniques will be our next Tuesday. Yeah.
Nice.
How do we get on to engage in those?
Oh, just let Jerome know that you're interested.
Okay.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
And thank you guys. Thank you for being here, Anthony. Thank you, Jerome. Thank you, everybody else. Thank you, Dan. And I'm going to sign off. Like, comment, share. Check out Certified Life Coach Institute. We train life coaches in 3 days. And we have amazing alumni and soon to be master certified life coaches as well. Thanks, guys. Bye. I have to hit end now. I don't like it.